So and now that you're dunking biscuits, I was going to ask you a few questions, which is always the case, isn't it? So I made a few things. So I was going to say, we'll let you finish your biscuits before you do a reading.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So are you going to read us a little bit out of the book?
Yeah, very short. When I do meet the author events, which Deborah does as well, I've had quite a lot of practice last week to say about Scottish Book Week, so we're out and about quite a lot. But I usually just start with the prologue. The book's lots of small anecdotes, but this just covers the sort of topics that are covered in the book, really sets the scene. So, I don't talk to dead bodies. A ripple of laughter moves through the audience as I explain yet again that a forensic psychiatrist works with mentally ill criminals, not corpses in the autopsy lab. Actually, I did complete a diploma in forensic medicine since so many patients and professionals expected some knowledge about bodies and crime scenes, but the image of a psychiatrist talking to a corpse is a million miles from the reality of my working life. Not everyone is suited to a career in forensic psychiatry. You need to be able to look beyond the offence and the newspaper headlines and see the person, hear their story, and identify whether or not mental illness is a causal factor. You must be able to remain non-judgmental and respect the person, even when they've raped a child or murdered a pensioner. Mental illness sometimes makes good people behave badly. My job was to find them, treat them, and rehabilitate them. Some might say, why bother? Just lock them up and throw away the key. But I wonder if those people would have the same opinion if a relative of theirs developed a mental illness and offended because of it. Then they might say, it wasn't them, it was the illness that made them do it. I suspect they'd want them to be treated and rehabilitated. The importance of valuing a person for who they are is deep-rooted in me and stems from my weekly childhood visits to my sister Vivian, who had learning disability, physical disability and sensory impairment. In old money, my parents were told she was deaf, dumb and blind, as well as having physical and mental disability.
But we're not allowed to say that now, are we? No.
So, no, they're not. She shaped my core values, my career choice and how I relate to others. Having retired after 32 years in the NHS, I've had a chance to reflect on the highlights, the challenges, the inspirational people and bizarre encounters along the way. Life experiences are like pieces of a jigsaw that come together to make us who we are. Being born in a castle, Lennox Castle Hospital, it wasn't Irish, I'm not a princess or anything. Learning what's important in life from my silent sister. Meeting my husband in a gay bar in Belgium, that's another story. Associating with rapists and murderers. Serving a life sentence in a female prison. Well, that's a story too. I was actually the psychiatrist for 18 years on and off at Contonville female prison, but I got to go home at night. Coping with a stalker. That's true, I do have a stalker. Becoming, excuse me, I'm choking on my ginger nut. Coping with a stalker, becoming a full-time carer and navigating bereavement. All of these events played their part in shaping who I've become. So that's just a kind of cover-all. It is a memoir, my book, so it is about my family and whatnot, but it's mostly about the lessons about my work and destigmatisation of mental health.
Yeah. And the drawing on the cover, so that's one of your... Yeah, that's one of your...
It's a pointillism drawing.
Yeah.
It's actually a picture of a psychiatrist's couch. Ironically, I've never had a psychiatrist's couch in my life, but it lets people, you know, when you see a couch, you kind of think psychiatry, and that was the whole point. And I thought it's about the criminal mind, so I drew a brain, but I made it into a wee man with tacky boots and handcuffs, so it's a criminal mind. And it's deliberately cartoonish because the book covers a lot of difficult topics. However, it's quite light-hearted as I read, and it's not a serious academic book or an in-depth assessment of serial killers or anything. So I didn't want it to look serious in the front, and I didn't want the typical doctor, you know, white coat and stethoscope routine.
You put it in sort of lay terms.
So it's very much for everybody to read and hopefully just challenge your assumptions and your mindset. So it's deliberately done like that. So
good. And I know we've already spoken about your trip to Alaska, but how would you say the book has changed your life? The book has changed my life because, well, one thing I wanted to do was to travel more, and I've had 2 5-star cruises to do lecturing on, which was fabulous. So that was super.
all sorts of things. It's made me, I've been talking in colleges, I've been just booked to talking in university, so I'm meeting all these different people. Recently heard it's getting translated into Chinese.
Wow.
Who knew?
That's amazing.
And I won a gold medal, so that was quite nice for the Global Book Awards. So there's been quite a few things that have happened that have been nice, you know.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything, it means people talk to you. They just they sort of, and it gives you credibility, because people think, well, you're a published author. A lot of people say I've got a book in me, but they don't actually do it. And the doing of it's not the hard bit. The promotion is the hard bit. Because if you write a book and put it on Amazon and think, why is nobody buying it? Well, people don't know to go to Amazon to look for it. You need to tell them all about it, and then they go and buy it. So, you know, doing the cruise line speaking, I've met people from, you know, people come up and speak to me from Australia, America, Hong Kong, Belgium, you know, all over the place, and they're buying the book, and then they tell someone else, and it gets the momentum going. Yeah. It starts a dialogue about mental health, you know. Yeah. So it's just been a completely new career almost. Yeah. This sort of professional speaking sort of thing. So I'm really enjoying doing all the.
And do you think that's helped you with, because as you say, you know, the day you retired, the day your husband died, do you think all this has helped with you dealing with your grief?
Absolutely. I mean, as I said before, and I think I say it in the book as well, it was the end of one chapter. Yes, it was a good one, and this is the start of another one, and it doesn't have to be a bad one, it's just different, and it's not what I planned. And again, there's been opportunities that I've had that I wouldn't have had if my husband been here. I wouldn't have done it. You know, would I have written a book? Possibly. Maybe just as a legacy piece for the kids and not done anything about it. Because I'm not working and I'm sort of free. There's no constraints. If I get an offer to go and talk here or go there, or I just say yes and go for it. You know, and that's it. So that's been really quite liberating. It's been good. Good fun.
So what next?
Well, I'm hoping to try and get some more cruise line bookings. That would be nice. And I'm hoping to get all my Christmas commissions done for my art, because I've still got some to do. And I'm trying to get into say universities and colleges, because a lot of the feedback when you get, you know, Amazon, I've had about 207, I think, last I looked, reviews on Amazon, so I've quite a lot of reviews, but quite a few of them have said people who are training as doctors, nurses, social workers, that sort of thing, anyone in the front line working with people would benefit from reading this, because it's about person-centred, respectful, non-judgmental care at the end of the day. And that's important in any walk of life. So a lot of people saying students should, you know, you get the academic, it's almost like the bones, but it's the sort of meat on the bones, is the softer stuff is actually really important. So I thought, well, if that's the feedback, I like doing this sort of thing, I'll try and do more of that. So I'm just on the edges of that. I've spoken at a college, and see, I've just been asked to go to a university. So I guess once you've done it once, you can say to another university or college, oh, I've spoken here, and they tell their friend, and that's how, even the library thing, I've done something at a library, and then that night you get an email from another library because they've told their friend and booked you. So so I think it's got a bit of a snowball effect. Do
you think there'll be another book?
There's not going to be another work one, because I say I've covered it. But I think my really positive experience of bereavement, I feel like a lot of people said you should write about that, because actually that might give people hope and be quite uplifting for people.
Yes.
So yeah, I have got enough stuff to do a book. I think I've had such a great ride this last 5 years. I've definitely got lots of stuff.
But you've got to have a positive attitude, haven't you?
You've got to be open to it. So yeah, so there is a book in me. Whether I would do it or just pursue this one, because this one is growing arms and legs and taking me places. It's not just I've done it and it's stopped. It's opening doors and opportunities.
And people is, you know, because of the how would I put it, the job that you had, it's not just the book, they want to talk to you, I suppose, about your past work, and so, because you're coming into that field, maybe. Would that
No, yes, students, when I'm talking to students, I'm talking to them about my book, so the content of it, so they do hear about all sort of bizarre, funny, strange things, and they might have their own things they want to discuss, and as with most things, you can't really discuss cases that you haven't seen, because the whole point is you can't judge things and think,
No,
assume. People say, what do you think of that guy that's in the newspaper that's charged with murder? I say, I don't think anything because I haven't assessed them.
You're not involved.
No, and the newspaper headlines and what's there doesn't reflect.
Yeah,
when you meet them, as I was privileged to meet a lot of the people in the newspapers.
I'm not going to mention, there's so many things in the newspaper.
But I don't even think about them because unless you see them and you do an assessment, nothing that's in the newspaper bears any relevance to the actual reality.
No, it's there,
and that's judgmental or stigmatising, so I just wouldn't engage in it. So, you can talk in general terms about things, but
so if anybody was wanting to buy the book, where would they get the book?
If you want a signed copy, go to my website, which is www.rhonamorrison.com. It's very easy. Rhona's got RH, Rhona Morrison, and that's the best place to get it. That's for the UK, but if you're out with the UK and looking at this, then it would be, you can order it in any good bookstore or via Amazon or any other good online books. It's available in all of them. It's available as a paperback, it's available as an ebook, and it's available as an audiobook. So, which is really nice actually. I was doing a meet the author thing last week with the Scottish Book Week, and there was a blind man with his dog, his guide dog, and everyone in the audience was coming up to buy books, and his partner, I think it was his wife, came to buy a book, and he said to me, I'm not buying a book obviously because I can't see, and I said, I do have an audiobook version, and he went, oh great, and I just thought, accessibility is really important. The reason I recorded the audiobook was because my mum is partially sighted and can't read. She's 92, and I wanted her to read my book, so she got to hear it. So, but you've done an audiobook too recently, so I don't know if you've had any examples that's very recent of when it's been accessible for people, or whether you target audiences specifically, like maybe a school for the blind or something like that.
Because the audio version of this has only just come out, so I'm still sort of fumbling my way around with this, but I need to do more work on that. Yes.
But I think targeting audiences for authors is important. So
that's right.
Who would be appropriate? Initially, I thought with my book is forensic psychiatry, so it's doctors, psychiatrists, mental health professionals, but actually social workers, police, criminology, nurses, all sorts of people have come back saying it was beneficial. So it's the same with the audiobooks. It's a completely different audience. There's obviously people travelling to and from work, and that's how they do their reading now, but specific audiences where accessibility is an issue, then
that's right.
Making them aware specifically. So I haven't done that yet actually. It was just that recent encounter with the gentleman with the guide dog, and I thought, well, we can work on that together. Yeah. And what about your art? Where can people? It's the same website. So the website I said earlier originally was my art website, and I've just got a section for my book as well. So it's all in the same place, easy peasy. And I've got 2 Facebook pages, Rhona Morrison Art and Rhona Morrison Author, and I post usually twice a week. So if I'm doing any sort of artwork, I put it on just to show people what I'm up to. And there's usually some encounter, whether it's today we are doing this, so I'll mention that next week. But this week I did a live streamed LinkedIn interview, with my publisher. So that was on LinkedIn, but I put it on my Facebook today as well. So there's various things on there. So
excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming along today, Rhona, and I'm sure that everybody else will love listening to this. Once I've edited the noise of the cooker out and different things like that. But thank you and thank you for introducing me to dunking ginger nuts in hot Ribena. You have got to try it. Try it and tell us.
We need messages.
We need messages. Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And the ginger nuts were delicious. So I will be taking some home. I haven't been offered any yet, but I'm going to take some.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.